Kingdom Outkasts podcast is a platform for us to simply express our thoughts, opinions, and experiences concerning our faith and events around the world. We're here for your entertainment, encouragement, and edification of the body. We're humans like yourself and are not the final authority of views expressed. Only the Most High Yah is. Feel free to agree, disagree, edify, question, and comment however you're led to in the comments. We are many members of one body under Messiah and look forward to communing as a family with mutual respect. Shalom and enjoy the pod. Kingdom Outkasts.
Kind of normal business as usual.
I'm in my tomboy bag today.
It's good, man.
And I have a
Troy
new dance
bag.
move. Yeah, my Troy
I don't think
bag.
Deja had repeated a fit at all.
Eight.
I know I repeated
I
fits
have.
like
Hit that
3
Trump.
times.
Hit that Trump. Hit that Trump. Did I show you my new dance move, Brandon? It's called Trump.
She's a trumper. She's a whole trumper.
I wish I could. One day we'll get a camera crew where they can actually zoom in on us. This is how you hit that Trump. And
It's literally a Trump dance.
hey. What? Hit that Trump.
Is that the short arms?
You look side to side.
Oh, that's hilarious,
Oh.
man. Oh, boy, we're getting canceled.
Cancel us, please.
All right. So, how was you guys' weeks? What's going on? What going on? What's popping? What's happening?
I had an excellent week. My birthday was last weekend, and I was just showered with love. Went to Helen, like we spoke about. Y'all took me to dinner. We had some good African food,
Oh, yeah.
good laughs. I made you both give me a speech, and it was just like so sweet. I got some good gifts. My man got me some earrings, and I just feel blessed. Yeah, my parents loved on me. Little brother moved out that same week, so I went over, saw his new place, prayed over it.
Okay.
He's just about to go buck wild in there. I don't know. The prayer was just.
I understand.
The prayer was to cover the space before he comes, you know.
Got it. Yeah,
That,
for
I
sure.
don't know. It's outside of our hands. But yeah, no, it's been really good. I didn't get too much fitness in. My excuse was that it was snowing.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it's snowing, so I just need to sleep in
Yeah.
every single day.
Oh, yeah. You know, there was no snow on the west side.
It was so bizarre.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
half the city had snow, the other half didn't.
That's crazy.
Never heard of that before.
I did not know that.
Very targeted.
Yeah. Nah, my week was smooth. It was snow in the beginning of the week. I got to stay home from work, you know, didn't have to go into the office. But then I decided to go into the office on Friday because, you know, I'm like, dadgummit, if I want to make more money here, I need to actually show these Negroes that I like them, you know? So I went up in there and I got me a nice little free lunch, you know?
Overachiever.
Instead of a raise. I got free lunch, so that was smooth. Got back in the gym this week. You know, I'm feeling sore, which I just love. I love that feeling of, you know, being sore. And,
I see it. It's, yeah.
you know, something slight. Just something slight. I finished a book on us being the people of the book. Finished that. I'm about to turn up. I know that they took away Black History Month, but I'm about to turn up and tell them, like, listen, we don't need Black History Month. We are the people of the book. We are the true Hebrews.
Hallelujah.
You know?
But yeah, after you read that book, you're like, no, I have this, like, you know, genius plan. I'm going to get a speaker.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely buying a speaker.
And I'm going to hit the streets.
Hit the streets, okay?
And I'm going to, so I don't know, maybe that'd be an episode on the street. I don't know.
Yeah.
Word. Oh.
Maybe you get you a speaker too, Brandon. We can just yell out on
Just
some
me
of
or
cars.
Brad Baffin?
Two
And then we can
speakers
More like a B-boy?
would honestly be a lot going on with the two of you. But
No. We're not in the same vicinity.
separate corners.
Someone's on lower down the street, you know, and I'm like, hey, did you hear what he said?
Right. Repent.
Repent.
Oh,
Yeshua
man.
is the way, the truth, and the life.
That's-
We are the people of the book. Read Deuteronomy 28.
There you go.
That's how he's telling people.
Okay. Heard. He's got that ruach of reclamation of nations.
I'm trying
There's
to
so
be
many
vessel.
names for these rules.
I know.
You know.
The ruined waters.
I heard. Okay. But my week was cool. You know, just a lot of clients. You know, little, you know, dating here and there. You know,
A little dating.
Just trying to, figure out my
It's
love
heating up.
life. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
The winter months are always great times.
Is anyone getting a second date?
Oh yeah, somebody's gotten a second for sure. One that got a second, we agreed that we were incompatible, so they're off. And the another one found out they were literally living with their baby dad that he's trying to kick him out, and so
Don't do
she's
it.
not even in mental space.
Yeah. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
nah, it's over with. But we gotta, we'll
Did
see.
did you happen to maybe spin the block on the one lady that we saw at the dinner?
Oh, the dinner.
No, Negro.
It seemed like that was the purpose behind the dinner. Like, of course, the dinner
I
was
chose
so-
it. I chose it.
I
chose
gave
the spot.
him options of what
Yeah.
we were.
It's just,
But I feel like we left a great impression.
we were all smiles.
Good,
She was all
y'all
smiles.
good people. You're good people. It's okay. When she realized there's no godly men out here,
Shook her back.
she was like, wait, the one who taught me this stuff. Yeah, we'll see. But anyways, one of my clients completely crashed out over the snow. Like, just literally, how could you think I can come work out? And
Oh wow.
I mean, there's no snow there's no snow on the west side though.
Yeah.
And granted, this is a president rep of the Weather Channel, So I guess she's super obedient to
What the
the weather
weather
stuff.
people says, yeah.
But the thing was, there was no danger. There was no snow on our side. There was no nothing. She literally lives in the same town that the gym is at.
Oh my gosh.
And she just crashed out all through text messages. And then I had to give her a piece of my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was in there
Oh
arguing.
yeah, I'll go through the text message conversation with you guys later. But
Your text message threads are always so entertaining. It's the only way I can describe it.
oh, this will
Because
be.
it's like you have time. It's like you have time to read people via text. I don't know.
This coaching thing is a very intimate experience,
Mhm.
and some people hire a coach without really realizing what our job is. Our job is to overcome your weak excuses, so you stay to your goals.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
some people don't. Some people hire a coach not realizing you hired me to. I don't want to hear that. Come to the gym and let's get these goals.
Yeah.
Well, of course, in a not rude fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Just chastise
He
them.
said there's literally no snow on the west side.
Yeah, fam.
To the
And
gym
then
in 15 minutes.
they had a line that was like, I don't like the fact that you're questioning me. And I'm like, wait a minute, who do you think you are? Like,
You pay me.
exactly, So, but hold on.
Did she end up coming to the gym or no?
Oh no, that's over with.
Oh, it's
It's dead. It's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all parted ways.
It's dead.
Oh.
Super dead.
Y'all parted ways.
Like dead
Okay.
horse dead.
Her loss.
Yeah, crashed out.
Her loss.
When I read y'all this text message thread, y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, she crashed out. But
Sounds soft.
But my week has been good, been blessed. Got some
Non-passionate.
opportunities. We're gonna see what's popping.
Okay.
So life is cool.
That's what's up.
Bet. Let's jump into Precept.
Let's
For
get
sure.
into it.
Oh, welcome to another episode of Kingdom Outkasts podcast. This is episode 38, and I'm here with my host,
Eliyahu.
Hi everyone, it's Deja.
and I am Mashak, Brandon Mashak. Let's get to it.
We're feeling real lively today.
Real lively. Matthew 7, verse 13. The narrow and the wide gates. I'm reading from the Amplified Version. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad and easy to travel is the path that leads the way to destruction and eternal loss, and there are many who enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow and difficult to travel is the path that leads the way to everlasting life, and there are few who find it.
That's good.
This is some red letter text that I was reading and meditating on this week, and I thought that would be a great precept. I feel like it's one of those scriptures that really, it reminds me of when Yahshua talks about the end of the age, how the sheep and the goats are going to be separated, but it's more of the process of getting there.
Uh-huh.
The wheat and the tares, yes, but you have to be on the narrow gate. It's more of a active life that you have to live. But what do you guys think about this text?
First thing that comes to mind, because this is perfect with our main topic today, which is groupthink. When I think about this, I think that sometimes we need to look at signs and we need to look at evidence in our discerning. So some people have a stronger sense of a spiritual discernment, and they can see and feel things. But as believers, we all need to have some level of discernment and the ability to read patterns. And so this is an awesome example of an everyday pattern that we need to read. When you look around and you see everyone doing something, you need to ask yourself, should I do the opposite?
Yeah.
Like, you see everyone, we talked about this, we were speaking about work and going back to the office. And certain companies are having these ideas, we need people back to office, and, you know, everyone's walking around the office complaining and griping and mad at each other. But if you're wanting to be promotable, while everyone else is complaining about not going to the office, you should lean in and do the opposite. Be like, I'm about to come willingly, nobody even asks, just to stand out. So every time you see, you know, a large majority of people going one way, it's a pretty good time to go the opposite way.
Yeah, and it says, and there are few who find it. You know,
and the more we come into the truth, the more I actually realize how much more narrow it might be than we actually think.
I agree.
You know, I came across I remember I read a pseudographical text one time. You know, I think it was called.
1 second. Sorry, for the viewers and for me.
What is pseudographical?
Oh, pseudographical texts. So these are not necessarily apocryphal texts. Apocryphal texts are Israelite texts that used to be in the Bible, and they were taken out by the Catholic Church. Pseudographical texts are texts that usually actually were written after the death and the birth and death and resurrection of the Messiah by early Christians on their views of the Bible. Like, you know, you got the testament of Adam and Eve, you got, you know, the testament of this, the testament of that. These weren't written necessarily by Israelites, but they were written by early believers, rationalize certain things. So like there was one the testament of Metatron, or the book of Metatron or whatever, but it was talking about Enoch. And there was a verse where it was like, for every 7,000, the angel basically, you know, told a man, for every 7,000 people, only one makes it.
Ooh,
wow.
That's extremely narrow.
Yeah.
That is very.
And, you
very
know,
few.
I don't know how accurate it is, of course, being a pseudographical text, but it is a very popular text. And, you know, that didn't narrow, like, I mean, honestly, because, you know, I think when you grow up, you think, okay, all Christians are going to make it. Then you realize, wait a minute, okay, a lot are fake and not going to make it.
Yeah.
And then you come into this truth community. Okay, everybody in the truth is going to make it. And you realize, oh, wait a minute, I don't know about the ones screaming at white folk on the side of the street. You know, they just kind of like, fam, it feels a lot more narrow the more you really, really keep going. And you just realize, man, it's only going to be a sprinkle of people out of certain baby believer communities who might make it. And of course, you know, we know the co-regime. There's of course the co-regime who have not yet found the Messiah yet, right? But yeah, man, it's just that word narrow. You know, the Hebrew word for the word narrow is Strong's 3334, Yatsar, Yatsar, Yatsar. And in definition, to form, fashion, shape, create, meaning to press, be narrow, be in distress. The corresponding Greek word, bless you, is plaso, to form, mold, and shape. Or plasma, that which is formed or molded. Usage. The Hebrew verb yatsar primarily means to form or fashion, often used in the context of a potter shaping clay. It conveys the idea of intentionally and skillfully creation. In the biblical narrative, it is frequently used to describe God's creative work, particularly in forming humans and other elements of creation. Cultural and historical background. In ancient Near Eastern cultures, the imagery of a potter shaping clay was a common metaphor for creation and craftsmanship. Pottery was a vital craft essential for daily life, and a potter's skill was highly regarded. This cultural context enriches the biblical use of Yatsar, emphasizing God's intimate and purposeful involvement in creation, akin to a potter's careful and deliberate work. And just to make sure, to be straight and, to be vexed. This is the word for narrow. Very interesting, because that is very much more deep than I would have thought. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean just like a small path. Like it's literally like to be molded.
Yeah, like a process.
Like a creation. The creator having his creation on a potter's wheel, or trying to mold it into what it's supposed to be.
You had to get rid of some excess in order to mold something.
Yeah.
To narrow it.
Yeah.
that sin, that flesh.
To form, I think that's kind of one of the main words that you mentioned. But like it's being on the narrow path is you have to consistently be formed more into the image of Christ. We know, but it's like
Endure to the end.
enduring to the end. Yeah, because people do believe in Christ, but then sometimes they just fall off.
Right.
So, but then I also think about how the Word tells us how He knew us before the foundations of the earth were laid.
Mm-hmm.
It's just He knows what He's forming in us, even in real time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that goes into the whole chosen thing. I'm still meditating on that. Being chosen.
I think that's the Most High choosing you.
Yeah.
Many are called, few are chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode that was that we used chosen, but make sure you guys go check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, do what you do.
For sure.
We love you.
Yeah.
Current events.
All right, current events. First one, we're going to talk about these, some stuff Trump is doing, in the White House.
This man is going ham early.
Well, and I think I was wondering, I'm
It's
like,
part of the
okay,
agenda.
is he just gonna roll everything out in his first week in the office and then just chill?
Mhm.
I guess so, but the first thing, the ICE raids. So they are bringing back the ICE raids. Do y'all know anyone who actually was deported?
No, not necessarily.
I know of someone who's African.
Oh, word?
They were in the country for 20 years and they ICE raids back the first Trump term, literally came and got this woman. This is a mother in her, late 40s, and they sent her back to Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
So apparently, they're going back to basically sweeping certain towns and areas and places and sending people back to where they came from, mostly Mexico.
Well, hey, you can send me back to Kenya, I found out where we're from.
You don't get to go back to Kenya. You don't
Yeah.
go there. They're taking people back to places that they're from.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's, so, to give context here, right, we got NBC News immigration raid in Newark, New Jersey spurs anger from local officials. New Jersey officials and immigrant rights advocates blasted federal immigration authorities for conducting a workplace raid on a small business in the city of Newark without a warrant. In a news conference Friday morning, Newark Mayor Ras Baraka said several agents with the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement entered the back of the business, arrested 3 undocumented workers, and detained and questioned employees who are U.S. citizens.
3.
Quote, people were fingerprinted, pictures of their IDs and faces were taken, unquote, the Democratic mayor said. Quote, I was appalled, upset, and angry that this would happen here in the state, in this country, that would be allowed.
I can't believe they offered 3 people.
3 people.
What I pictured was them going somewhere in like the middle of Alabama in a factory where every single employee is here illegally and just like arresting like 1,000 people. at
Well,
once.
there could have been that, but this
That
was
was
just
in
one.
Newark and New Jersey. Yeah.
So.
This one from CNN, it says, it's talking about Chicago, and it says, in addition, ICE field officers were told to meet a quota of 75 arrests per day. So, Trump has these campaign promises. He's got to try and to meet them. To fulfill them, yeah. But it's breaking up families.
Right. And so I've seen different little fake news floating around. Not fake news, but, clickbait. One of the big clickbaits I've been seeing is them showing people, like, loading up everything they love and, like, heading back to Mexico willingly. Like,
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
you don't even have to come get us. We will leave. And then the other thing I've seen is them showing, like, this is totally trolling, by the way. I don't know if this is real, but going into certain neighborhoods and where in the Walmarts and looking around and look, all of a sudden Walmart's empty and they've cleaned up the streets, so now
Oh, wow.
that's bad. That's
Yeah.
trolling.
Yeah,
But
it's
basically they're saying that the idea is that they're going to clean up this issue right away.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, man.
We shall. I think it kind of goes into our next current event with reversal of DEI, but I think it's more so like how Trump has promised to make America great again, which we know is not like the greatness of America, but more so whites being in power again.
Fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19news.org, 2 days into his...
Already in power, but I guess more so like just squashing all sorts of diversity.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And like really distinguishing between classes. That's a better way to put it.
Nah, for sure. You got 19news.org. 2 days into his term, President Trump has moved to shut down diversity programs, revoke previous executive orders defending diversity, and mandated new hiring practices, all as part of his drive to protect civil rights and end what his administration called discriminatory initiatives Trump signed a slew of executive orders that attack what he refers to illegal DEI, or federal diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, namely reversing former President Joe Biden's Executive Order 13985, which he signed the day he took office in 2021, that charged federal agencies to instill equity and fairness into their everyday operations. Trump also reversed the Civil Rights Era Executive Order from 1965 that expanded equal employment opportunities by requiring federal contractors to take affirmative action when hiring new employees. And so, yeah, this is like, there were certain laws to make sure people hired a certain amount of black people, Latino people, or whatever, and stuff like that. But now, of course, it's kind of like, well, no, I want people.
Whoever's best for the job type.
Yeah, and I have mixed feelings about that because, if I did have a company, I want to hire who I want to hire. Yeah. And granted, as black people, we want to employ black people, right?
Well, I don't know.
But
I don't think I need a full staff of black people.
Well,
All due respect.
And I kind of feel you on that a little bit. It depends, right?
Get in here, be playing with Negroes.
But I wouldn't want to be told how to run my company.
Yeah.
But we do also know that just the underlying tone of this country is on the side of prejudice, racism kind of situation. So there could be situations where, say, you want to work in the corporate world,
right?
And it might be much harder for you now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Want to work in corporate.
And well, you do, not me. But and then that even blends into Black History Month not being recognized as a federal holiday anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is, I was never even a fan really of Black History Month ever because it's just. Give us reparations. I don't care about a freaking month.
Please.
Like,
or have Juneteenth back.
Right, literally. It's things like that where I'd rather, that's not really going to grow the black economy or the Negro economy, or even just putting, not taking away, what is it called, critical race theory, and really teaching our kids not about how they were just enslaved, but rather where they really came from before then. But, we know that that's part of the whole agenda and not teaching us who we are, how this whole Bible is about us, and just it's not all about us, but it's about peoples, but we're predominantly in it, and it's just bigger. It's the bigger forming of the agenda to just not giving us a voice. But
hey, I want to learn about history before slavery. That's kind of how I feel about it. I never really adhered to Black history. Once I found out MLK was kind of like an op until he got close to his death. And Rosa Parks, is most likely Eastern Star, and a lot of our basically,
Black History Month figures.
People are honestly, we're like ops, to be honest.
But it's like they have to have these things to show the care and consideration. There's a certain level of we have to have consideration for black people and all they've been through. So we're gonna put these things in place to make sure there's always a decent level of consideration. When they start rolling them back,
it's pandery though.
Yeah,
it's so pandery. When the Democratic Party, when the Democratic Party all knelt down with Pelosi, whatever her name is, and the thing at the front, I was just like, fam, this is grade A. What we call coonery, crackery? I don't know, crackery.
We saw the dude give the MLK speech. Did you guys see that?
Oh my god!
That was
just get out. It was just get out.
It was supposed to be a prayer. I don't even know.
But Trump was back there smiling you don't know how much you're setting your people back.
Yeah, fam, it just
But it's
you got them, boys.
It's just evidence.
So this is MSN. Trump cancels Black History Month at federal agency. Whistleblower lawyer reports. Mark Zay, the D.C. attorney known for handling cases regarding national security clearances, governmental investigations, freedom of speech claims, and whistleblowing response to President Donald Trump's order not to merely cut all DEI initiatives in federal government, but also demanding that all federal employees expose any colleague who remains involved with DEI-type programs in federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and NASA. No, we are aware. No, we are aware of efforts by some in the government, said Trump's administration emails sent to government employees regarding NBC News, to disguise these programs by using coded or imprecise language. Commenting on developments, Zaid wrote, quote, "It goes beyond what happened at DHS and NASA today. CIA employees were told all resources and affinity groups were canceled. No Black History Month or MLK celebration or any other ethnic recognition months. DEI folks are to be fired rather than allowed to rotate former officers."
Are to be fired.
You know what this made me think of when you were mentioning, because I started smiling, bro, this literally sounds like 1984. With how Big Brother was saying, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but
Yeah.
He cracking down. He cracking the whip.
Wait,
For
no.
real.
One thing he did do this very week, amongst all these other things that I thought was interesting, was he declassified the JFK assassination files
And MLK.
and MLK assassination files.
And RFK. But yeah,
So
that's
I don't
interesting.
know. He's like a Sour Patch Kid or something. He's like that's
First
someone
he's sweet, then he's sour. Yeah.
And I guess it depends on who we are.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get, but
Okay, what about the Dr. Fauci pardon?
Yeah,
Fauci.
that's very simple. Joe Biden like pardoned like mad people, including Dr. Fauci. Like it just shows, fam. We knew this was jacked up. We
Yeah.
knew we messed up.
Uh-huh.
We knew we did this on purpose.
Hashtag what's in my arm.
There you go. Like,
Yes.
fam, now you just got a
What's in my
question.
arm?
Like, yo, fam, like, and now I
Why?
got stuff in my body. I don't
I
know.
feel like when you pardon somebody and they accept it, it's an admission of guilt. You know, like you knew that you were guilty. So what is Dr. Fauci guilty of?
And you know what the thing is now that they're talking
What's
about?
on his conscience?
Creating
Mass
bad
murder.
scenes with AI. Now that's the conversation.
Really?
Yes, that is a huge conversation
So
now
like
in the news.
AI would code the vaccine or something?
Yes, basically.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like
That's not on brand with Trump though. That's
Huh?
not on brand with
Trump is
in
an
his Trump
AI
office.
president.
He is.
Is
He
he?
just gave $550 billion towards OpenAI and towards the AI creation. He said he wants to make
Oh, wow.
AI and crypto. He said he wants to make the United States the AI and crypto capital of the world.
Smart
Oh,
cities.
we're talking
smart,
about that later.
Smart
We'll
city.
talk about that later.
Smart
Yeah.
cities agenda. Smart cities
It's big.
agendas.
It's big. And
with
I
the
mean,
fires.
It goes right into Elon.
Yeah,
You know,
in
with him being his
the
group.
Congo war, right?
Oh,
A
yeah.
war just broke out in Congo
Yeah.
over because where are they going to get the resources, the coltan, the cobalt, you know, all
To
this
stand
stuff.
up this new infrastructure.
Yo, when you watch those videos of them people in Congo,
Oh,
how
it's
they
sad.
fighting, I ain't gonna lie, like I don't get emotional, but I was like, Dad, look at these Israelites killing each other. Like, yo, we
I
don't
was
know
thinking
how
about them
good we
mining.
got it,
Them
fam.
mining is sad.
We do. I mean,
We don't know how good we got it.
they do. They only have child labor laws. People in their hand digging by hand, like
For like pennies a day.
for pennies a day. It's
Yeah.
just quite disturbing. We actually
Or
did
nothing.
talk about this.
Or nothing, yeah.
Starving.
Slavery, yeah.
Starving, like, you know what I'm saying?
And that's crazy how, like, right when, you know, Trump gets in office, all this happened. Once he made this $550 billion pledge towards AI,
Yeah.
and now we see wars breaking out in the Congo. And now we're starting to see, like, you know, of course, we're
Using
we're at,
Oracle and Sophie Bank.
Mm.
Basically, these two companies that are coming together, and these are the ones with the 500
Oh,
billion.
wow.
Yeah.
And OpenAI.
Yeah.
And OpenAI also has WorldCoin, which is the coin that was scanning your retina and giving you crypto for scanning your retina.
Good grief.
Crazy work.
Yeah. Just
Crazy.
take all my information.
Just take it all.
Just take my saliva. Like, what do we?
What else do you need?
Well, that was the DNA test, actually. So
Oh, I could
never
have said
mind.
something, but it was so
23.
wrong.
Fam,
so wrong.
yeah, good.
I held it. Good job, Deja.
But they're also like, okay, I don't know if it's not.
We
on
did
here,
that with the DNA.
But we're
test.
talking about like things that are happening in other countries from this election.
Uh-huh.
They're saying that there's a lot more protests in other countries.
Yeah.
Against Trump.
Because against Trump, like in South America and in Africa. And I think this is probably why.
This
like,
is-
these initiatives.
This is where we see the fall of America because one, these tariffs are going to send inflation up. More of these countries are going to hate us more for cutting them out the picture. Like this is where we see the fall of America and these, like you know, they poised Trump as the one to end all this war. But to be honest, yeah, right. But but it's going to be civil war here. And honestly, I do think a lot of these countries are going to kind of look at us certain ways for excommunicating them out of the United States. Like a lot of these people are, you know, we got BRICS, you know. I mean, most of these countries have already pulled out of the United States dollar and started using other things, you know. So I think we are going to see like a lot of like backlash from this and a bigger gap between the rich and the poor. And you know, Elon Musk is of course at the front of all doing his Nazi salutes 3 times. Like,
I don't
bam.
even know what's up with that. They're actually confusing me again with the branding. I think a long time ago I said to you guys in the ask, I was like, what is the correlation between white supremacy and anti-Semitism? And then what does it have to do with conservatism? And then what does it have to do with Elon Musk and being a billionaire? Boys Club. What do these things have to do with each other?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that the Nazis, when they disassimilated, they actually integrated into the American government and created NASA.
But okay, so then which one is it? Is it that they're for pro-Israel and the American government,
I think-
or is it that it's pro-Nazi and
I think
Elon
that
Musk
they
and his
agree on
homeboys?
certain things and other things they don't.
So, Pete,
If Trump is pro-Israel, why would Elon Musk, who's Trump's homeboy now, they're butt buddies?
hey,
Why would he get on here and Nazi salute?
I have
Those
the
things don't go
I have the
together.
perfect answer for you. We now know how America was the one who funded ISIS, and a lot of us know we are also the ones who funded Hamas. This is where we might have to believe some things.
What did I say? Two
now,
wings to one evil.
when we think of Ashkenazi,
yeah, we're cooked on it too.
Ashkenazi, they literally have the word Nazi in their name.
That's too confusing.
No. I need you to follow me. So who? No. If we funded ISIS and we funded Hamas and Israel controls us, meaning Israel is also complicit in funding these organizations that America funds, who do we think created the Nazis of that day? See, one thing that we're not told about the Holocaust
is... You're saying there's such thing as Jewish Nazis.
No. Here's the thing we don't realize and understand about the Holocaust. You have Sephardic Jews and you have Zionist Jews.
Right.
Jews that don't believe there should be a state of Israel.
Right.
And Jews that wanted the state of Israel.
Okay.
To create the state of Israel, they had to get rid of the Jews who did not. So let's create this terrorist organization that looks like they're against us, but we use them to get rid of the ones who are keeping us away from the state of Israel.
Now, where Elon Musk falls in this...
YouTube is over with.
What does this have to do with Elon?
Okay.
Twitter and Tesla.
That's just control. That's just to control the population.
What
Just to control the media that comes into people's minds. If you want to learn more about what Brandon's saying, there's a documentary on YouTube by Benjamin Friedman. He basically exposes the creation of Israel as well as further understanding as to that party that was in Germany in the 1940s, and also even the Holocaust that happened.
Would it be too far if I read a quote?
Yes.
From
just put it on the screen. Just
please.
That explains everything.
We'll add it. Let's go to the main topic, please.
No, honestly, we thought that our last episode wasn't going to get up, but it went up.
Main topic.
Okay. So. Most High looking out.
Groupthink. I would like to prompt us to have a discussion on the cause and effect of groupthink, I suppose. Cause and effect, how it can be used for good, how it can be used for, evil, how the Most High can use groupthink to bring people together, to empower communities to build, for people to be living in righteousness and encouraging one another in the Word, versus how the enemy can use groupthink to continue to pull people down, and crabs in a barrel, toxic environments, and generational curses. People that are like-minded being drawn to other people that are like-minded that lack progression.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let y'all cook first.
Well, when you think about this positive group thinking, I really think about in the sense of, first off, being rooted in Yahshua, realizing that He is the God of our salvation, that He is the way, the truth, and the life, and that is only through Him and our faith in Him that we are saved. I think that's one form of positive groupthink that we all have to be in accordance with. I think you mentioned this before, Brandon, but I agree with the sentiment that we have to have a common spiritual basis in regards to like our belief in our faith system to really be able to grow as a people. Then to take it a step further, I think about our identity and us realizing who we are as Hebrews. And with that being the case, we have to be cognizant of the fact that like prophecy is really we're really the timepiece for prophecy. But I was just pulling up Ezekiel 37, the vision of the dry bones, and how we are seeing right now in real time people waking up to who they truly are in being Hebrew, but also like really wanting to live out the Most High's word and live according to His way. So it's really just a blessing to see that, and also us coming to the realization that like when we turn back to the Most High, when we repent and we are just obedient unto His word, that we're going to be blessed. And I think that we're going to be seeing that throughout this year and just moving forward as the dry bones come together and come alive. But that's the positive groupthink that I love to see. And then you've got the negative groupthink that is it's destructive, and it's
that's what fuels culture.
Yes, it's what fuels culture, and really, I think the best way to put it is that it's it doesn't produce any sort of life, so it's dead, it's dying, in the sense of you go out here and have all these sexual relationships with people or women or men, whatever. But then you have to have abortions. That's death right there.
Yeah.
Or even in the sense of like financially, like if you just solely think about your next check or like anything else, like you're gonna be dead spiritually. You're gonna be dead emotionally. Like we know plenty of businessmen that have so much money, but that's all they have. Like that's the richest thing that they have. And I think that I can go on and on about the negative aspects of groupthink, but we're seeing a lot more people latch on to maybe one area, and especially with this red pill movement, how they can just be negative and not like communicating with people, as well as the outcomes of their actions and their thoughts. And then from there, we just realize that whatever they do is really not producing life. So, I think there's two aspects to it, but it's interesting to think about groupthink in the sense of like where there's a little bit of an error, like when there's like a little bit of leaven, how that can leaven really the whole lump. And I think about that with like how I'm starting to realize how Christianity is, like people going to church and stuff. But let me get on my soapbox. And like, we got a lot of fake Christians nowadays.
Yeah.
So like, it's like there's a little bit of leaven in there, and they just think that them going to church is, gonna make them okay. Like, no, like literally, like we have to be cognizant of the fact that like, no, we are sinners, and
Don't fight
Yahshua
for
has
a
saved
seat.
us.
Don't fight for a seat at church, like physically.
Oh gosh.
To not, and I say fight when I say there's over. What is the word when they have to put people in the other sanctuary?
Overflow.
There's overflow. There's no parking. There's this and that. They're fighting to be there because of the group thing. I really think that's how these mega churches form.
Yeah, but is there group repentance? Like,
right? Like if my people just call on my name and humble themselves and pray. But that's why positive groupthink is always Ruach HaKodesh or Holy Spirit led.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is our positive groupthink in one word. Ruach. Ruach, the Spirit.
The
Like
Spirit
when you in when you in church and the Ruach descends on the people and we're all worshiping in unison. Worship was great.
On Saturday.
Shabbat. Like it was
I saw videos, it would look amazing.
Like that is, when we're having like conversation, and we're in agreements, and it's like, oh well, you knew this and that, and we're like connecting dots, and that's the Ruach. That's positive groupthink. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Especially when it's like in your own lives, you've had confirmations that agree with each other.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so that's positive groupthink. You think Ruach HaKodesh, and that's why I can't wait till the millennial reign when he really puts his mind in our mind, and the Torah in our hearts really exemplify, and we just. And I believe we'll have our uniquenesses too, but with that high mind of just knowing and understanding the Most High and avoiding sin and all of that, and so, but yeah, that group think where it's just like, fam, like, say you're in a situation and because of peer pressure, you just agree with everybody, you just go along with it. I mean, that's dangerous, that sucks. I mean, you're going to see a lot more of that negative group think, to be honest. Especially as organizations and stuff rise up with what's going on, where black people might be in sundown towns or situations where they feel like too threatened to like speak up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have a lot more of this group thing, just people adhering to it just out of safety,
right?
And so that's your thoughts on that for sure.
That's good. Okay, I'm the one who kind of wanted to talk about this topic of groupthink. I've been kind of like noticing the positive flow of I want to say energy because I don't want to sound like those people. I wish there was another word, but basically the vibe, whatever the spirit moving on us and through the ministry, and so naturally some other people, young people and people that are close in age with us that are in ministry, are just kind of like coming to us after service. And chopping it up with us, saying, I wish we could start a group chat. I wish we could do like outings. And I'm like, we'll add you to the group chat. We're already doing these things. So we kind of went from a place where it's like, we want to do outings, but are people going to show up? We know at least we're going to show up. But because of the collective energy,
my stresses.
Brandon doesn't, right. And that's like kind of on you because you put it together and you don't want to beg anyone. And we're just trying to get together. Yeah. But I think like what it is that when people see that people actually show up for each other and that we keep showing up like in this space and in ministry and in our friendships, it makes them want to be around you.
Yeah.
So like, oh, like here's like some good, good looking young people in the Word who are in the truth and they're good friends to each other. I'm trying to meet them and be around them because I need good friends. Like I want more good people to be around.
Yeah.
So then that kind of like exudes, and then like more people want to be around each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's a really dope thing. Like I love seeing it in real time, and I want us to feed that. Like I also was learning about, not learning, but I guess in spirit, like okay, you don't want to offend people or do things to discredit the ministry. So like treating others with a softness and a kindness to where like if they do come to you and are like, oh, I hope we could get together sometime. Actually reciprocating the energy to show them like I actually in love want to be your friend. Like when we do something, I'm going to invite you. No one is excluded. Like you guys can come to my place. We can meet up. We want to make sure it's affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
Like we want that energy. So again, so to speak, allow the spirit to move on it. To make people want to be a part of what we're doing, and to the most I can show them like there's other people that are like you. Like if you have friends or people in your life who don't resonate with you, the Most High will replace them with those who do it well.
Right. And I'm moving like kind of even in regards to our precept, like on that narrow path. I think that's where a lot of positive groupthink happens. But it's really a blessing to have y'all in my life, and other people at the ministry, and
too,
like
man.
just
Right.
I didn't say love. I just said I. Can't sit on camera. No, I'm joking. No, I love you guys. But,
Testosterone.
but I was saying like so like we're gonna. I think that it's exciting to think about positive groupthink, not only in these stages that we're in right now, because we're still early on, like 20s, early 30s, like, and we haven't even reached the peak of our wisdom, understanding, and ability to disciple, as well as financially. So when we get to that financial peak, we are going to be able to have businesses together, build schools, government institutions,
everything that Dr. Umar's been trying to tell the people.
Yes. Yeah,
we're like listen, Dr. Umar, we're actually doing it using the word in the Hebrew. We know who we are.
Yeah.
We also believe in a level of diaspora, Pan-Africanism, and be like, listen, we already got this down.
Yeah.
You're late.
But that's why,
your community.
But that's why you have to have the same spirit, man. And
Yeah.
people really just take that spirit part for granted. Like, that's where all that's the most commonality that matters. You can be incompatible as you want to be personality-wise, mentally-wise. But when you're talking about the Most High and the Word and I mean, granted, the Word touches on every facet of life.
Sure does.
So if you have, that biblical or godly mindset on any subject, you can find a commonality on anything with the most incompatible people in your life.
Right.
And that's why that is the most important part when it even comes to Pan-Africanism and unifying and building together.
Yeah, that's so true.
The only other thing is a common enemy. But when that common enemy is gone,
how are you going to build together?
What do you have next?
Civil war.
Right. Now you're warring with each other at the common
light skins
enemy.
versus black skins.
Black
skins, dark skins. Dark skins. Anyway, okay, wait. I want to talk about the flip side. The negative groupthink. And this is so prevalent in our culture. I said earlier, this builds cultures, and I really want to clean it up. This doesn't build culture. This isn't culture. Our culture is built by negative groupthink. That is why overnight the BBL just became a sensation. People were going to black market BBLs. Their legs were falling off. Black people have completely ransacked the Chanel bag. It's just certain things that once we convince each other that this makes sense, then we all start doing it, and it is quite terrible. I don't know how many men have, looked me in my face and told me, we hate lace front wigs. We hate them. I don't know, single men that like to wear.
Damn, me
but
too.
Because
the
Instagram
glue.
and the internet made it popping, it's women are paying their last thousands of dollars to get lace front wigs. So
also,
negative groupthink can.
Can I just give this one example real quick? I'm sorry.
Yes.
The YNs and their love with Dodges. Dodges do not keep their value. Don't get you no Durango. Don't get you no Charger or Challenger. It does not keep its value. That's all I gotta say.
That's the military.
Someone's watching right now driving a Dodge man.
That's the military thought car too.
It's negative equity.
Is it?
It's a
The
negative
Dodge.
I think
monster.
it's
Or is it the Mustang? Is the Mustang or Dodge?
The Charger was the football, the YN football car. Then it was the Frenchie dog. It's the NFL dog. So it's just certain things that we do, and there's nothing wrong with nothing wrong with Frenchies. It's just that
They're inbred.
it's just there's certain things that like for whatever reason our culture is like so adaptable that if when we put out trash, oh my gosh,
The
it
trash
multiplies.
explodes. Freaking housewives.
And the
Don't
problem
talk
is we
about
don't even realize,
Too far.
and we don't even realize a
Too
lot of that
far.
even comes from us. A lot of it comes from the the ish people execs
Yeah.
that control these and throw these negative ideas, and then we just regurgitate it, in entertainment, and it influences the entire generation.
Yeah.
That's why I think we can just roll right into our own alternative thought on modesty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what if we would apply our way of like our righteousness, the way that we walk, the way that we dress, the way we present ourselves online, in using the spirit groupthink, and we just really emphasize a modest lifestyle? What would that look like?
I think about just having a lot less. First off, like we don't need to have 10 purses. We don't need to have 20 pairs of shoes. Like just have a pair of shoes for this sort of event, like maybe basketball. And then you need some business shoes. Then you need some maybe some boots or something. Like just simplifying it, not having as much material items. I think is really important. First off, with being modest, but have things that are going to retain their store value.
What?
Stay awake.
I'm up.
Things that are going to retain their store value. So if you're going to buy some jewelry, make sure that it's going to keep its value. Don't just buy something that's like gaudy.
Yeah,
get some actual gold. You know what I mean?
ROI. Return on investment. Value with stored assets with stored value.
You're not gonna just do this.
I love this guy though.
So let me keep cooking. In regards to modesty, not the last thing I'm gonna say because we'll have some conversation.
Around.
But also, I think like in regards to how you present yourself is very important. So it's not proper, in my opinion, to show a lot of skin when you're outside.
Okay.
Even as a man, I really don't wear tank tops outside. Because I'm like, it's not that I'm like self-conscious or anything about my arms. I think that they're fine looking, but I just don't want.
They're fine looking.
They brought up. You've been doing some curls.
They look alright. I do my tricep, pull downs. But it's the flesh. We gotta understand that the flesh is going to attract other people's flesh, and their desire to get up in the flesh. So that's for men and women.
So as somebody who works in the fitness industry, I think I could definitely talk
I never
to
hear this
right?
from men. I just hope we make a clip out of that.
Well, right now,
I've never heard that from about men before. It is so true.
Now, granted, I'm gonna be honest. Me being somebody who's heavily in the fitness industry and stuff, and a coach, I probably won't necessarily be as modest as Elijah, but I am more modest than what I definitely used to be. Yeah. Especially, say, how I market myself on social media. My shirt isn't off all the time. It's not necessarily because I don't really have the body no more. You know what I'm saying? I am trying to get back to it. But I used to be always shirtless, working out shirtless, all this stuff on social media. Like, if you do some scrolling back to like 2021 and back, like, Negro did not have a shirt on. I was driving without a shirt
you didn't
on.
own a shirt.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I would literally pull up to the grocery store and walk to the door and put the shirt on at the door. I was just like, and I got a lot of, views and content, and I got a lot of the heart emojis and the drool emojis and all that. Yeah. But I was attracting women just looking at my flesh, you know what I'm saying? I was just attracting thought behavior, you know what I'm saying?
Not your mind.
And granted, I put...
Not your heart.
Right. And then but the fact that I do carry myself differently, I put out my fitness content, but I'm not doing it so fleshy-wise. I attract a way different type of person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the crazy engagement, it's not the crazy... comments a lot, but I'll get more of people that are in that same kind of mindset as me. You know what I'm saying? And in the fitness industry is definitely way over sexualized. Oh yeah. Now, what I will say is, look, everybody has the freedom to do what you want. You do not have to wear a head wrap and a skirt to your ankles.
I saw that on Instagram. Shout out to you.
Now, granted, it's cool. No. Like, I don't have a problem with it.
Or just like you don't film yourself. But do that in your real life or only.
No, fam. Look, no, I don't have an issue with it. But what I will say as a coach, that's not realistic for a lot of different... You can't do a lot of exercises in that. If I was coaching you and I said I want you to do box jumps or I wanted you to do hurdles, or I wanted you to do something like that. You wouldn't be able to do a lot of that in that type of attire. So if you're going to do that, realize you are limited to the things that you can do, and that might be dangerous. You might stumble over your skirt. You might get caught in something. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing a lot of equipment. So I don't think it's necessary to go that hard. But if you decide to go that hard, hey, that's between you and the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I would not suggest you go that hard. But if that's what you feel he's leading you to, cool. That's what I gotta say on
just
that.
Just do a different type of exercise. Like, why are you in the gym? Just go walk 1,000,000 miles with me. I don't know. But my thoughts on it
she hates it, fam.
My thoughts on modesty are that as you grow in your walk and you're growing in spirit and the ruach, the Most High is moving on your heart, you're going to naturally change certain things. So something that you might have been comfortable to wear before you were on your level of righteousness that you're on, now you're not going to be comfortable to wear. So I had to that's what I think had happened naturally, to where I wasn't like, let me just change what, everything that I'm buying and I'm shopping, I'm just super intentional about changing. It's just that when I will put things on and want to wear them and the places that I go are different, naturally the things that will make sense for me to buy and wear to align with where I'm going are going to change. Yeah. So now if it's like in a regular week, I'm going to go to the office at least once. I know I'm going to go to service. I'm going to go set up service. We're going to film for the pod. And my social life is different. It's more so like visiting friends, maybe out to eat. It's not going to require me wearing like things that are revealing at all. Like I can't even have a place to wear it to. Yeah. So it just makes sense for me to buy things that are more modest looking. I actually like the more modest style that is like kind of becoming a trend. I see it all the time on Instagram where it's like women are like pairing the head wrap and with their nose rings, and they're wearing longer skirts with like boots or like J's, and they're doing accessories and they're bringing, and it looks so good. Like I actually think it's a really dope fashion. That Daughters of Sarah page. I get it. And I also feel like Daughters of Sarah. Yeah, that's the page. Shout out Daughters of Sarah.
Is there a tag on this one?
It's like follow. These are good daughters. Yes, daughters.
I don't even know.
So I feel like don't worry. But yeah, I just feel like if you have a real sense of style, you can just jump fresh. You can just put it on.
Like modest, you can still dress really nice. Yeah. Modest. Right. You know what I mean? Your style and your fashion does not go away. It's just more so about the flesh that you show.
The main idea of modesty, it's not about selfishness. Is the main, and the problem is we live in a very selfish society. Yeah. All self-love. Oh, I do what I want. Society, and the word talks about being a stumbling block for other people. And I'm not gonna lie, that's something I struggle with and stuff like that, because it's just kind of like in my profession, showing my body is what gets clients. Yeah. Showing my body and showing that my transformations, look, for me, I do think it's still necessary in certain times to show my transformations, show things like that, because people want to see that too, see if you can get them to where they want to. Mm-hmm. But there's a way to not sexualize stuff. There's a way to not overdo things. Right. And, it's about not being a stumbling block for your fellow, lady or man. And, trying to keep our minds in that, the rock amongst us. The rock can't dwell where, things are super fleshy, all the time. Yes. And, again, you can't also just keep saying things like, well, that's their self-control, and if they can't control, fam, can we be real about human nature? Yeah. Like, if I smell the cooking, I'm gonna want to eat. You know what I mean? Come on, come on. Is that simple? Like, we gotta stop lying to ourselves about human nature and about how weak our flesh is. Yeah. Just think about other people other than yourself sometimes. If you actually love other people outside of yourself. Yeah. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Second commandment.
This actually goes into the conversation we're having off camera about if you're not out and about and you see a woman, and the example we're giving, you see one woman, she's like full glam, you see another woman, she's like really plain, really regular, and women are saying when they're in their plain regular, more men are approaching them. We're talking about that. And that goes into modesty too, because I do feel like there's an authenticness to not needing to be overly glammed. Like when you're going into certain spaces, you want to just ask yourself, what is the purpose behind this? Like, are you looking to draw attention to yourself? Mm-hmm. And if you are, like, what is your reason? So if everything you're doing is for the glorification of the Most High, you're going to ask yourself where that line is. Like, am I doing this to, like, glorify the creation, which is me, and this is glorifying the Most High, or am I doing this to the point where it's distracting and it's kind of taken away from the Most High's creation?
There you go. Yeah, man.
That's good.
All that in a bag of chips.
All that.
Like I have a faux locks in right now, which is long. I think it looks cute. It looks nice. I feel like it's a modest hairstyle because I'm locking my hair. I like to pull it back, but it's long. It would just be a very different vibe if I had on a blonde wig right now.
Yeah.
Just be a different vibe if I had a blonde
Leprosy.
wig.
No, joking.
So
yeah, blonde hair is cool.
Modesty, I think it's a good practice, it's a good lifestyle. But the last thing I will say about it, which is I don't know how you guys feel, but as a woman, if you do work on your body or you feel like God has given you, good, you look good.
You blessed.
You're blessed.
Blessings.
Now and again, you are going to want to wear stuff that's going to be like flattering. It's going to be form-fitting, but it's not going to be showing too much because you're blessed. You're in the gym, you eating good, you got your small hips on you. You might want to wear something that's showing how you look. I feel like it's okay.
Look, as a man who's in fitness, I like to wear things that are form-fitting here and there. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's cool. I think everybody just has different opinions, especially in the brew community. You got some who's just completely left. You got some who just don't care. I think it's just ultimately up to what are you being convicted about?
Right.
Just be honest about that. Are you convicted about it? If you're not convicted about it, hey, then that is what it is. If you are, then you got to listen to what the Most High is convicting you about.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. Especially I think in the gym, as I see people that wear form-fitting things, I realize within myself, don't even look. Keep the blinders on. You know what I mean? That's what I like.
Man,
but
they got them pants with the little undercuff shadow. And I'm like, stop that. They're trying to pronounce it. They're trying to pronounce it.
You don't even need to. When you see any type of pants that might look like that, you're supposed to just look somewhere else.
I work in the gym.
Yeah.
I can look.
That's a 9 to 5.
The moment I look away, it's over there too. You know what I'm saying?
I can't get away.
Yeah.
On this conversation of form-fitting stuff, I was just gonna say, I'm like a sleeper build type of guy. So I wear oversized shirts, and I like loose.
I do both. Sometimes I do loose. Sometimes I do form-fitting. You know what I mean? It's honestly different. But no, I'm not trying to, show them a print. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to.
But what about what about in marriage and you want to be sexy now and again? Not in the house necessarily. Not in the house. I'm saying.
Like
on
when
a
we
date.
go out, I think that's okay.
We'll be like, okay, we're gonna go out. I'm trying to look a little bit sexier than I would at church.
Yeah, go for it.
Look, I'm not. Again, if you're convicted about it, you're convicted about it. If you're not, you're not.
Yeah.
I feel like I just think it's different. The Most High is not going to convict everybody about the same things all the time. He's not going to necessarily. Yeah, he's not going to group think everybody on the exact same subjects with the ruah. You know what I'm saying? Some people are going to be convicted more on these things than others. He might be convicted to not drink alcohol like that, where I'm not. I mean, he might be convicted where I'm not, and maybe it has to do with who can handle more. It's really just different with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah, so, that's real.
Let's hit financial news.
So, the Trump administration has basically had a lot of executive orders over the past week. But one of them is on regulations on cryptocurrency. And Trump has put in a new chair for the SEC, which was the government entity that basically brought a lawsuit on Ripple Labs for basically selling securities. Now, a judge has already ruled that certain sales of XRP are not a security, but some are.
Interesting.
So that was a little bit of an interesting thing, but and it's basically as retail investors, we don't have to worry about XRP being a security. But what we are going to be seeing here soon is regulations on cryptocurrency, which is going to, I believe, make for a whole lot more money to come into crypto because institutions can now truly invest. We've got ETFs, but it's gonna be increasing a lot more.
And so this goes back to my Trump question where I'm like, what does his conservative values have to do with his opinion on AI and crypto? Because I would think that conservatives are saying small government, individual freedom, which is the opposite of changing over to a new system where everything is tracked and monitored through blockchain. That is not conservative value.
Well, you know,
Teaching
I think
abroad is just
yeah,
what it is. It's a broader agenda that's above him.
I agree.
You know,
I agree. Yeah, and it's like that's like an individual conservative, but like a group think conservative is like, oh, we need these for business. We need these for money. You know.
Okay.
Like, because they care about money.
and the goal is to
Trump
get
is-
us to
He's big on crypto.
The goal is to
Yeah.
get rid of the U.S. dollar.
Uh-huh.
I mean, these tariffs is inflation. Like, you know, like all this stuff is weakening the U.S. Gold is back up to about almost 2,800 now. You know, from where it went all the way back down like almost 2,500 when he was elected,
Wow.
which shows that people are now buying gold and saying, okay, cool, we need to protect our assets to store value more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you know, you might have thought like, oh, we're just gonna keep going down because economy. Well, no, you see what's happening.
Yeah.
It's the opposite effect.
And I think I saw this one theory. It was crazy about XRP. But basically they were talking about how, okay, so Trump was talking about the External Revenue Service, and then like, this is not what Trump was saying, but someone gave like a hypothetical idea. Say that External Revenue Service does come in, but then everyone ditches the dollar, then we have $34 trillion in debt that we have to give up. And it was in regards to Trump creating a U.S. strategic reserve, which they were saying was going to be Bitcoin. And then they were like, well, how could we have $34 trillion worth of Bitcoin? And then they mentioned XRP, basically wiping out all the debt for the United States dollar, and having that as their strategic reserve. And then like basically from that, the price prediction was like $500 to $1,000 per coin for you, XRP.
Give a little bit more XRP.
Please,
This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice.
please let
But
this
yeah,
happen, Lord.
yeah.
I have things I want a horse.
Yeah.
I want 2 horses. I want a ranch. I want my 40 acres, but I don't need the mule.
Yeah, I don't.
I want a
Do you
ranch
XRP?
style
I don't
home
have any.
with 4 children, and I think
But
they
I've
need
got
college
some
savings.
good XRP returns already.
Do I
That's
own
good.
XRP?
It's gone up a lot in just the last week.
No.
Yeah.
I'm covered in that area. I don't need to own XRP.
Cha-ching. Well, that's our episode of Kingdom Outkasts podcast.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We hit it and quit it today.
For sure.
For sure. 1 hour and about an hour.
Yeah, about an hour and some
Peace.
change. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, Kingdom Outkasts Pod on Cash App. And it's going to go right back to the podcast. We're always talking about some things we're going to do
Upgrades.
to upgrade. So,
this year.
you know, just,
look.
show us some love if you love us.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Peace.